Greetings, beloved Princeton United Methodist Church community. It's Pastor Jenny here, and I'm reading from Matthew chapter 5, parts of verses 13 and 14. You are the salt of the earth. You are the light of the world. This is the word of life. Thanks be to God. This Sunday, we are starting a new sermon series, worship series. We are celebrating Kickoff Sunday. It is the season that, the day that we kick off our fall programming season. And you know, we function with a lot of calendars in our day. We have our liturgical season. We are still in the middle of our ordinary time, this long stretch of time that goes from Pentecost to the beginning of Advent, where it is a season of growth, a season of discipleship, and we are still in the midst of that. But many of us operate also with some semblance of some connection with the academic calendar too. So school has started, and we are aware that kind of those rhythms that we have from fall to spring are back in place, and we are finding our rhythms again. For us, it really means that all of our programming starts up again. Our music groups all start in these next week or two. Our age level programming also starts up again in earnest. We have Compassion Camp back to its normal routine. Youth group starts up again, and our small groups, our discipleship groups and seasonal groups will also start anew in the next few weeks. But as we look at this new worship series, it's called Salt and Light, after this very passage from Matthew 5 that I read from. And I love to think of this image. I love this image so much. But, you know, the light that we see around us, the light from the sun, the light from lamps, it looks like it is, it's this light that helps us see all the things that we need to see, from writing to reading to cooking to just seeing each other day to day. It helps plants grow. It helps our skin have all the nutrients it needs. All of this is there. But it's really a blending of lots of different frequencies, lots of different colors of light. And I like to think that something similar happens in us, that we have a Holy Spirit spark, that light of the world that we are comes from Jesus, who is the light of the world. And it's the Holy Spirit that puts that light of Christ within us. But each of our lights is just a little bit different. Each of us has a unique type, a unique color, a unique frequency of that Holy Spirit spark. And just like when we put a prism up, the sunlight filters through the prism and we can start to see these different colors in the spectrum that are part of that the same thing can happen with us too. We individually can see these different sparks within us, the uniqueness that is each one of us, the different gifts and the different spirituality types and the different interests and passions and skills and gifts are all there in each one of us, that Holy Spirit spark within us. But when it all comes together, it blends together in this beautiful way that we can detect what all these different frequencies, colors of light are, but it comes together to blend together to illuminate the world in a whole life-giving sort of way. So we're going to be talking about this over the next few weeks, about how we are salt, how we are light. And that was just one way to talk about how we are light. And part of what we're going to be doing is looking at our particular Holy Spirit spark, the unique version of it that is within us, that comes together with all those others. What is our unique flavor of the salt, of the way that we are salt of the earth? And how does that come to bring out each other's flavors and blend together to make something that is so important for us and our world and together? So I invite you over these next few weeks to be in some discernment, to be in some listening, detecting, kind of searching for what it is that makes that makes you unique. What are the certain ways that God has gifted you, unlike everybody else? Of course, these gifts and styles and all these things kind of overlap with others. We have similarity with each other, but nobody has your exact frequency of light, of that Holy Spirit spark, or that particular flavor of salt. Only you have it. And so you are invited to discover more about that and to see how you are being called to bring that into the blend that is that makes us collectively the light of the world, the salt of the earth. I wonder if you have a sense of that even now. What is that Holy Spirit spark like within you? How does it come out through you? How are you being invited to let it come out through you? What are the particular ways that you have been created by God to serve and to bring the church and the world to life? I wonder what just comes to mind with that. You don't have to know any particular language or any inventories at this point or any of that, just to know something of the way you are created that brings life and light and flavor to this earth and to the community that we are all part of. Friends, you are invited to church on Sunday. We're going to keep learning about these things, discussing them, but I particularly hope that you will invite someone else to come with you to church on Sunday, whether it's online or in person. Invite another person to come, or another family, or a neighbor, or a friend, whatever, colleague, somebody that you are connected to that you think has that, is ready to let their particular spark join together with ours, perhaps. And maybe you're not even sure that maybe even feel too big. Maybe it's just somebody that you know is hungry or thirsty for God's grace and God's love, or a community to be a part of. Maybe it's somebody that you know is hurting and needs a community to offer them a place to be and a place to belong. Maybe it's just somebody who's curious about Christianity or the church and is less familiar. But I hope you'll bring somebody with you, or at least invite somebody to come and worship with us this coming Sunday. Know, too, that we have several things that happen in the beginning of the year, of this program year. So this Sunday is Kickoff Sunday, and we will note that in several ways. We have backpack blessings this week too. So if you have a child or a grown-up child who has a backpack, or maybe you have a backpack or a briefcase or something that you, a bag that you would like to bear that tag, a reminder of God's blessing as we go out into the regular everyday space. Know that that's happening Sunday. You can bring the bag, or you can just get a tag and take it home with you to put on there. On September 15th, we have our fall gathering potluck at Mercer County West Park. This is something we've done for many years. It's also something apart from the church. It happens, so we'll have worship at 10 o'clock in the morning, and then about noon we'll gather at Mercer County Park West Pavilion. It's not always easy to find, so connect with somebody who's been there before, and look in your happenings in this email to find some directions. Bring it to potluck. Bring a main dish or a side or a salad, and we'll gather together and just enjoy fellowship together. On September 22nd, we have a newcomers group that starts. This is for people who are newer among us, or people who've been around for a longer time, but are curious about some of the things that have been changed in the church over the past several years, or the direction that we're going. We're going to dive into some of that. It's also a refresher for those of you who've been around, and new for those who are new among us, about what it is to be salt and light and disciples here at Princeton United Methodist Church. So you're invited to invite somebody, and we look forward to entering into this season, this fall season together, as we explore salt and light. Remember that you were created for joy. You are enough because God is enough. It is such a privilege and a joy for me to be on this journey with you. I'll see you very soon.